our first game that we're gonna be playing is called Merry Crisis. 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 Merry Crisis. The dev actually reached out to me, sent me an email, and asked if we could play this on stream. And super timing because I had already added this to my Steam library even before she messaged me. So Merry Crisis is a visual novel slash choose your own adventure, kind of like a dating sim, yes. The full game will be released Q4 2026. What we have right now is the extended demo, so demo version 2. So they released demo version 1 last year, and then demo version 2 came out, I think, in March. So that's what we'll be playing. That's so cool! When you hover your cursor over the photo, it changes from like a spring summery vibe to like a winter snowy vibe. That's so cute. Okay guys, welcome to Merry Crisis, made by Monsoon Games. Shout out to Ali from Monsoon Games for reaching out to me. I'm so excited to play your game. Press spacebar or click to continue. Player setup. Your character is a man, a woman, a non-binary person. I'm gonna say a woman. For flashback scenes, your character was born female. There are 3 romanceable characters in the game, all of them gender selectable. Oh, fun fact guys, the dev is queer, so that's why there's gonna be a lot of references to LGBTQ discussions. Okay, wait, before we start din pala, just a quick trigger warning for anyone who might be affected by this. The game may contain mentions of racial prejudice, homophobia, and transphobia. So if any of this affects you, please feel free to click off the stream right now. Please take care of your own mental health above anything else. And remember that I love you all. It's okay with me if you need to prioritize yourself over my stream. Hi! Okay. All romanceable characters are women, all romanceable characters are men, random selection, pick for each character. Ooh, interesting! Random selection. Content warning, this game, okay, here's what I said. The game may explore themes of racial prejudice, homophobia, family conflict, and transphobia, depending on the playable character's identity and choices. So please take care of yourself first if you need to. Display in-game content warnings, yeah, just to be sure. Prologue, the arrival. The graphics are so giving, I know. 22nd December, oh, it's so wintry, it's snowing. You sprint down the street. There had been an early sprinkling of snow 2 days ago, and the streets are still slippery with patches of black ice. It's absolute madness to be running full tilt the way you are, but nobody bats an eye. You've lived here long enough to know that New York City is full of people who are late to something or another. In your case, your flight to Singapore is in less than 4 hours, and you still need to grab your stuff from the apartment. Run like my life's on the line, slow down enough to avoid falling flat on my face. Interesting. Crammer, yeah. Since we're cramming and running and our flight leaves in 4 hours, I think we have to run. You're exaggerating, but not by much. Your mother would probably murder you for missing Christmas dinner. She's already mad enough that you're visiting for only a week. You're still charging down the street when disaster strikes. Your foot hits a patch of ice, and you flail frantically in the blind hope of catching a railing. Hey! Whoa! Whoa, indeed! Fortunately, someone catches your arm before you faceplant into the sidewalk. Oh, look, there's dogs! It's Nat, your housemate. Hi, Nat. I know you're excited to come home to me, but running on these streets is not a good idea. Tell me about it. Liz barks and wags her tail, beaming at you, but Kehoe gives you a stern look, as though in reproach. So I'm guessing this is Liz, and this is Kehoe. They're cute though. I'm never too busy to give the dogs a good pat. You technically have no time to spare, but you've never been able to resist these two. You toss the toy bone for Liz, then give Kehoe a pat. Liz scampers off happily in search of the bone, and Kehoe gives you an imperious bark of satisfaction. Nat watches you, gaze lingering, expression hovering somewhere between fond and sad and something you still don't have a name for. Even now, her voice carries a warmth you've spent the past few weeks trying to forget. Trying to forget? 4 weeks ago, the breakup had been amicable, mature. You'd both simply been moving in opposite directions, or so Nat had put it anyway. You stand in the kitchen of your shared apartment, reeling from all that had been said and left unsaid. I thought Nat was our housemate. Now we're housemates, but we used to be together? The radiator hisses unevenly in the corner, working overtime to fill the silence. A half-drunk mug of tea sits between you, long since gone cold. You'd sensed that Nat hadn't been happy for a while now, but you hadn't realized that it had gotten this bad. Breakup bad. Ouch. Sounds too familiar, guys. Are you even happy? With me? How am I supposed to answer this? I have no context. I don't know what's going on. But I mean, it just sounds all too familiar. So I'm not unhappy, just too busy and distracted. Truth is, you'd been so busy with your own career that you'd stopped paying attention to what was happening between you and Nat. Perhaps in some ways, you'd willfully refused to see the warning signs because you thought your relationship with Nat was too good to fail. The last 4 years with Nat had been some of the best years of your life. Stupidly, naively, you'd had genuinely expected those good times to last forever. I think in any relationship you feel that way. Nat reaches over and takes your hands in hers, smooth and warm and big-knuckled. It's a gesture that's so familiar it makes your heart ache. Aww. I love you, but we can't keep going on like this. Something sharp and desperate claws at your throat. I think I want to keep trying. Can't we work this out? We don't want things to end like this. Can't we give this one last try? Nat wavers. For a second you think that maybe it's not too late to save this, but then Nat takes a deep breath and seems to steal her resolve. I see some people relapsing in my chat section. Why are you relapsing, guys? It's not your story, it's theirs. She shakes her head sadly. How many last chances have we given this? Oh! Oh, that's harsh! Oh, that hurt! You bite your lip and curl your fists. Your nails dig deep into your palms. You wish you could pull Nat in, hold her tight, and refuse to let go. Instead, you nod mutely and look away to hide your prickling eyes. Journal updated. A week passes. 3rd December. Wait, so 4 weeks ago, so 22nd. So maybe in November. Yeah, they broke up in November. Right before Christmas? Harsh! You're still living with Nat in the same tiny apartment. You've already packed your things into neatly labeled boxes, and you've been scouring websites for apartments to rent. But New York City rent is sky high. Tell me about it. As a late 20-something-year-old without much savings to your name, there just aren't many options. Try my best to move on. Unlike my belongings, my feelings prove a lot harder to pack up and stow away. 1 week. 1 week since the breakup. Yeah, my feelings are hard. Truth is, you're still in love with Nat. You spent 4 years together, man. You keep expecting to wake up curled around her in the bed you once shared, hoping that these past weeks could just disappear like fog on a cold autumn morning. The boxes continue sitting by the door, a reminder of the life you'd once shared. You try to tell yourself that this is for the best, that this is what Nat wants. But you see it in Nat's eyes sometimes. Moments of weakness where she's unable to hide the way she still feels for you. You can't help thinking that if you could just find the right things to say or do, you might still be able to save this relationship. Play Burnout by Sugar Free. Accurate, class. A car honks loudly. The sound of traffic transports you back to the cold street, breath fogging in the December air. It's beginning to snow properly now. Tiny snowflakes settle in Nat's hair on the shoulders of her jacket. Nat is so beautiful. If I had 4 years with this girl, I would never let her go. Reflexively, I lean in to brush them off. Of course we do. Before you realize what you're doing, you reach out to gently brush the snow from Nat's hair, tucking a stray strand behind her ear. Oh, she's blushing! You hear the soft intake of breath when your fingers graze her ear. Nat blinks, cheeks coloring slightly in surprise. She's so pretty. You pull your hand back, wondering if you've crossed the line. But Nat's gaze is warm, and it makes you wonder if she, too, is thinking of all the winter holidays you'd spent together, making snow angels and sipping hot chocolate by a window. For a moment, you can just about pretend you're 21 again, college seniors, still in love and full of hope for the future. Oh, the space between you seems to crackle, but the silence is a thick layer of hard-packed ice. It's Nat who breaks the silence. When does your flight leave? 3.5 hours. With a change of expression worthy of an 80s sitcom, all the color bleeds out of Nat's face. Need a lift? At your hesitation, Nat waves a hand. It's no problem. What's the point of a holiday if you can't even use it to save a... Nat falters a little at this, but soldiers on. A housemate in a time of crisis? The hesitation when Nat said housemate makes your heart constrict. Ouch, housemate. Housemate lang pala. Shake my head stiffly. I can't keep relying on Nat like this. Give Nat a grateful hug. Thank you. How would I repay you? Do you want my firstborn? Let's not go with that option. Give Nat a grateful hug. You pull Nat into a hug. Come here, brother. Nat lets out a small sound of surprise, but a second later relaxes into your arms. You breathe deeply, inhaling the familiar scent of Nat. For a moment, you can almost pretend that nothing has changed between you. The relapse is strong, guy. The thought brings a warm sting to your eyes, and you step back, blinking quickly. Thanks, Nat. I really appreciate it. Nat's expression is gentle, but you catch a flicker of something you can't quite decipher. Aww, en route to JFK. Nat's one of the few New Yorkers you know who owns a set of wheels. You've spent countless weekends exploring the small towns along the Hudson River, hiking in the nearby Catskills, going on road trips. You'd been driving through a blizzard to Quebec, singing terrible pop songs at the top of your lungs, when you first realized how in love with Nat you were. At the next stop sign, Nat turns to glance at you. What'll you say when your family asks what you're still doing in New York? You'd expected to return to Singapore after college, but you'd started dating Nat in senior year, so you'd found a way to stay a little longer. 4 years to be exact. 1 year led to the next, and before you knew it, you'd spent nearly 3 years in New York after graduating. Even without Nat, New York's starting to feel like home. Yeah. You let out a long exhale and look out of the window on your side of the car. Singapore is where you grew up, but it never quite felt like a life you'd chosen. In New York, with a million other transplants to the city, you feel a little lighter, free from expectations of what you should do, whom you should be. Nat had never pushed you to settle in New York for good, but you'd been considering it. At first, you'd stayed in New York because Nat was here, but as time passed, you've come to think of New York as home too. A part of you still wants to stay in the city, even though there are pieces of Nat everywhere in New York. Because I'm still hoping we get back together. Of course I am. I like Nat. She's pretty. Restaurants and bodegas and parks and street corner markets that remind you of her, but perhaps you could reclaim each piece of the city if you had to. I've built a life here too. Nat stares at you for a long time, curiosity mixed in with the pain. It'll be nice to still have you in the same city. The traffic light turns green again, finally, and Nat starts the car up again. Nat slides into a spot at the airport drop-off area. See you when you get back. Nat gives me butterflies. She's so pretty. Endgame. I hope so. I hope she is my endgame. She's gorgeous. I want her. You can't help but think about all the times Nat had driven you to the airport, kissed you goodbye, and told you how much she'd miss you while you were gone. Kiss me goodbye again, Nat, please. How many things had you done together without knowing it would be the last time? Oh, way to ruin my mood, game. Nat reaches across the center console and takes your hand. Your heart leaps into your throat. There's something soft and unguarded in her gaze that makes you want to lean in. Lean in and press a kiss to Nat's cheek. No questions asked! It's not a terrible idea. Let's go. Nat's fingers curl more tightly around yours, breath hitching softly. Even after you pull back, your lips still tingle where it had grazed Nat's skin. The kiss is goodbye and I love you both at once. Kiss only. Kiss for now. Kiss for now. You should probably get going. Kiss and hug. Kiss 5 seconds. Walang mali siya. I should probably get going. Let's get going, guys. Nat nods. You wonder if it's taking every ounce of willpower she has to hold herself back from doing more, wanting more. Merry Christmas! Enjoy your week back home. You slip your hand out of Nat's and get out of the car, heart still thudding in your chest. Wait, legit, guys, I'm like... I'm getting butterflies and my chest hurts. It physically hurts from what I'm reading. One very long flight later. 24th December. You wheel your luggage into the lift of your public housing block. The doors are about to clank shut when someone dashes toward you at full speed. Stick out a hand. Oh, we have to rush. Okay, I stick out my hand. You leap into action, but the lift completely ignores your valiant hand waving. These old lifts have a mind of their own. I was trying to be polite. Way to go, elevator. Ah! Just as you're about to panic, the lift doors clang shut around the boot. Hi. Hi there. I do! A second later, the doors jerk back open and the person strolls in grinning at you. Dude, this is like... Wait. Chat. Right? Rocker dude, guitar bag, long hair, the piercings and the tattoos. Oh my god. Game, what are you doing? Shay. Wow, nearly lost your fingers for me. Appreciate it. Wink for you anything. Wait, that's too straightforward, Ollie. We don't do that here. Give the man a friendly smile, shrug, and jerk a chin at the buttons. Floor? Yeah, we're gonna play hard to get and be very, very shy. Floor? The man smiles at you, dark eyes dancing with amusement. He reaches out to press the button for the 11th floor, the one you live on. You put 2 and 2 together. This I can't talk. This must be Shay, your neighbor's new tenant, the one your mother complains about in every phone call. You can complain to me, Shay. I think that was the wind. The company he brings home. The late-night jamming sessions with his bandmates. The muddy mountain bike tracks he leaves in the corridor. You study the man in greater detail as the lift starts trundling upward. He's wearing ripped black jeans and a sleeveless red tee which shows off strong shoulders. I can't even read it! Strong shoulders, defined muscles, and tan, sun-kissed skin. I can't even read anymore, guys. Shay is my type on paper. Look at this specimen of a man. Like, I can just look at this all day. There's a guitar case slung over his shoulder. When you return your gaze to the man's eyes, you realize you've been caught staring. I've been staring. He winks at you. Flirt? What a flirt! Oh my god! Okay, that was a turn off. He's such a flirt. I don't like winky winky. Like what you see? Not anymore. Dude, how dare you wink? His voice is low and playfully flirtatious, and he can definitely see why your mother disapproves. Do you happen to flirt with everyone you meet in the lift? Oh, this is the most me response ever. Do you happen to flirt with everyone you meet in the lift? Only when they're as cute as you are. Excuse me? You laugh and Shay's dimples flash. It's nice to finally meet you. Your mother talks about you all the time. The one that got away. She watches way too many K-dramas. I'm not even sure she realizes it's supposed to refer to failed romances. Your conversation is interrupted by a loud ding as the lift arrives on your floor. You step out of the lift into the corridor after Shay. You'd spent countless afternoons kicking a ball back and forth along this very corridor with your brother. You catalog the changes since the last time you'd been back home for Lunar New Year. It's been more than 8 months since then, much to your mother's disapproval. Singapore is far from New York, man. Although, I think there is a direct flight. But still, it's far. For one, there's a new row of thriving plants extending from your family's unit to the one next door. Shay smiles at you and gestures down the corridor. Want to be introduced to the fam? You blink. A split second later, you realize that he's referring to his plants. Sure, why not? Shay introduces each plant to you in loving detail. The finicky orchid, the indestructible ZZ plant, and the drama queen fiddle leaf fig. I am not a plantita. I have no idea what these are. Finally, Shay waves at your family's sad bougainvillea.
Say it again, Dexter.
Bougainvillea. That has been neglected for years. Hey, maybe you could give this poor soul some TLC while you're here. I'm only here for a week. Oh, Shay's face falls slightly, but he quickly recovers. We'll make it count. What can we do in a week, Shay? See you around, neighbor. Excuse me? You continue on your way down the corridor to your unit. Wait, I just noticed. Did you guys notice? We did random for the love interests. So our love interests are apparently Nat, our ex, Q, our first love, and then Shay, the neighbor. So, my character right now is apparently very, very gay. So, are we saying that Shay is gonna factory reset my character? Let's look at it through that lens. Okay, we are gonna be playing the rest of the game through that lens. That my character has been gay since the start. And then she met Shay. I'm home! Ah! Mama! Your mother rushes out of the kitchen to smack you in the arm. Ow! What? Why? You should have come back a week earlier, or stayed a week longer. 1 week. Pathetic! Not even enough time to binge watch a K-drama. A second later, she pulls you into a brief hug. She's never been a particularly physically affectionate person, but she does hug you each time you come back home to visit. You return the embrace. In your arms, she feels smaller, thinner than you remember. Your dad comes running out from his room at the commotion. He, on the other hand, has grown a belly. There you are! Should have let us pick you up from the airport. No need to waste money on taxi. Should I say this with an accent? Like, no need to waste money on taxi la. He waves a hand at the containers on the table, beaming proudly. Oh my god, this must be some Cantonese word that I don't know about. Dabao from your favorite stall at Red Hill Market. Your mother frowns accusatorily at you, taking in your ravenous expression. Sometimes I think you come back for the food more than for us. Your dad shrugs. I'm happy as long as something works as bait. Where's T? T is our younger brother. He's out hanging with a friend again on Christmas Eve. She makes apostrophe marks with her fingers at the word friend and shares a meaningful glance with your father. You take this with a pinch of salt. Your mother has a habit of simply assuming things that she'd like to believe. And yet she had done the opposite with Nat, continuing to refer to her as a flatmate months after you'd told them about your relationship. Trigger warning, slight racial prejudice and homophobia incoming, guys. You suppose that for them, it was just easier than confronting the fact that you were dating a Black American instead of a Chinese Singaporean. Of the wrong gender, too. Before you can sink further into these thoughts, the front door swings open violently. And it's our younger brother! Your younger brother tosses his socks and bag by the gate and sashays into the house. Very Asian standards, I know. Very Asian boomer mindset, right? Hello! Something smells amazing! Can I have some? Your mother rolls her eyes and mutters something about bottomless stomachs, but waves everyone over to the dining room. Younger brother, I am an older sister. Nod at him slightly awkwardly. Hi. Classic sibling behavior. You've never been particularly close to your family, and the time you'd spent away from home has only widened the gulf further. You nod at your brother, not really knowing what to say. Hi. Yep. That seems to be the extent of the conversation you're going to be having with each other. For the first couple of minutes, there's only the sound of utensils scraping as all four of you practically inhale the food. It's truly the best thing you've tasted in weeks, maybe months. After the feeding frenzy has died down, conversation resumes. So, how have you been? Answer vaguely and remain mostly silent. Best way to deal with your parents. I'm pretty good. Your family tries to fill the silence, but the chatter mostly passes over your head. Inside jokes and anecdotes that you know nothing about. Your mother's eyes linger on you, looking disappointed at your lack of enthusiasm, but not exactly surprised. You do tell them briefly about the record deal that you'd gotten, how your album is still on track for a release in spring next year. Oh, you are a musician too? Interesting! Your parents had never been too keen on you making music for a living, but at this, your mother slips you a small smile. What you do not say is how much of your time the album had mopped up, nor about Nat and the breakup. Soon, the food has been polished off. After lunch, you're in the kitchen with your mother, helping to clear up. When you were younger, you'd resented the fact that your mother never really expected your brother and father to help with most of the cooking or cleaning. But it's for that reason that the kitchen had been one of the few quiet, intimate places that you shared with your mother, a sanctum of sorts. She's always been most comfortable talking to you about difficult topics amidst the cooking fumes and the sound of sizzling oil. Today, standing side by side at the sink, you can't help feel a bit of that old closeness. Abruptly, she appears to change her mind. Instead of finishing her sentence, she turns away. Your mother walks off to tie up the garbage into a plastic bag. When she returns, her expression has softened slightly. It's good to have you back. I just wish you'd stay longer. You blink. It's classic behavior from her. Something almost tender, bundled up with a jab, and all to distract you from what she'd been about to say earlier. Just not unable to say it back. You pause, then nod silently. Though you're moved by the fact that your mom had said that out loud, you can't quite bring yourself to say it back. Your mother's expression falters. She hands you the garbage bag and says nothing more. As you head out with the trash, her gaze follows you all the way to the door. I wonder if things would be completely different if I'd made different choices. I assume it should be, right? Just as you're rounding the corridor to the shared rubbish chute, you bump into Shay. He's repotting one of his plants in the corridor, humming a little tune as he works. He pauses and looks up as you walk past. Why you have to pop up on my screen like that? Like, can you just slowly make an entrance and not be like, hey? He brightens and gives you an enthusiastic wave, nearly flinging a couple clods of mud at you in the process. Chat with Shay, continue on my way. Chat with Shay. We're not gonna pass up an opportunity like this in this game, right? You draw a little closer. Are you singing to your plant? After carefully setting the plant into its new pot, Shay straightens and smiles at you. Or to you if you'd like. He's such a flirt! Oh my god, this boy! It's like he's one of those guys who knows he looks good and uses it to his advantage. To your surprise, Shay actually begins to sing the chorus of the song he'd been humming, his voice oak-timbered and rough-hewn. Did I pronounce that right? You roll your eyes but can't help smiling. Alright, save it for the fiddly fig. I've been meaning to ask for your number. So straightforward, hello? Click my tongue teasing just like that, no dinner date first? Shay lets out a throaty laugh. I'm playing a Christmas gig tomorrow. Wanna come? Oh, I can never say no to gigs, chat, you know me. We just met 5 minutes ago and you want me to spend Christmas with you? Shay winks at you. What is with the constant winking, boy? Great music, drinks on me after. What better way to spend Christmas? Besides, you're the one who wanted a dinner invite. Anyway, no pressure. I'll send you the deets and you can decide later. You nod, mulling it over as you head back into the house. You can already hear your mother in your head, grumbling about bad influences who drag you out to wild late-night parties instead of spending time with family on Christmas. After dinner that night, you get a call from Junie, your best friend from junior college. So junior college, according to the game, is similar to senior high school in the Philippines. Junie says, "You're back in Singapore, finally! I stare at a picture of you on my phone once every couple months so I don't forget what you look like. You laugh. You've been friends for years, so you know just how dramatic she can be. That's creepy. Also, I literally just video called you a month ago. Still, you've got plenty to update each other about. Eventually, the conversation loops around to the class reunion scheduled for the day after Christmas. By the way, Chu just confirmed that she's coming to dinner. Your heart twists. It's been nearly a decade since you last seen Chu. Feels as though you'd met each other a lifetime ago now. Such as our high school girlfriend. 8 years ago. You're at a party with Junie and her boyfriend Tech. At some point between the rowdy drinking games and chit-chat, you wander out to the pool alone for a bit of a breather. You get a couple of seconds of blissful solitude before someone else slips out the back door and joins you. It's Chu. You've seen her around in school and seen her name on every single dean's list since the dawn of time. You know she's got a reputation for being aloof, but you've never really spoken until today. Needed some peace and quiet? You laugh and raise an eyebrow at her pointedly. Yeah, well, I'm not going to get it now. The conversation starts small. School, mutual friends, favorite bands, then somehow the momentum sweeps you both along with it. She listens more than she talks, and her attention feels all-encapsulating. Time passes in a hazy blur, thick and viscous. You keep talking longer than you'd planned to. People occasionally come in and out of the back door, but you barely even notice. For who knows how long, nothing pierces the bubble that forms around the two of you. Eventually, though, the party begins to empty out, and the few remaining people come streaming out of the house. Suddenly, there's a loud whoop, and the host dives headlong into the pool with a massive splash. A second later, everyone hoots and plunges in after him one by one. That sound design though, did you hear that? As I was reading the part of people plunging in the pool, there were sound effects of people plunging into the pool. That's cool! Cackling and cheering erupts around you. Alright, it seems the madness is starting. I'm heading home. You? Laugh and jump into the pool as well, dragging Chu along with me. Nadia, let's get out of here. I don't think she's the type to jump headlong into a pool, so let's just go. The two of you say your goodbyes to the rest, then walk out of the house together. You linger at the front gate. There are no stars, not that you can see anyway, but the sparkle in Chu's eyes is close enough. Ooh, she's pretty. It seems neither of you want to say goodbye just yet. The motion is so quick you're not sure if you'd imagined it, but you can just about swear you see Chu's eyes dip down to your lips. Murmur, you gonna kiss me or what? Press her up against the house's sidewall and kiss her. Hello? Very book talk of you. Take a deep breath and let the moment pass. We are in high school. We are figuring out that we are gay. I think we're not gonna be this aggressive, so this one is out of the options. Let's give her the ball. You gonna kiss me or what? Your breath hitches as she closes the distance between you. One thing had led to another tonight, but you certainly hadn't expected it to lead to this. The kiss is bruising. Chu's hands come up to grip your hips and the world swirls all around you. She an aggressive one! When she finally pulls away, she's breathing hard, eyes still dark with desire. So, how are you getting home? Wanna walk together? Did they just make out and then... Dude. You smile, glad that Chu had found a way to make the night last just a little longer. Weeks pass. After that, the two of you go back to your separate, parallel lives. Occasionally, you'll bump into each other in the hallways between classes, but that kiss slowly fades into memory. Wow! Kiss then... That's it? That's it? That's it? How dare you? How dare you two? That is until the final year of junior college. As fate would have it, she transfers into your class and gets assigned a seat next to you. There's an inescapable intimacy to sitting shoulder to shoulder for hours every day, watching you take notes in her absurdly neat handwriting. As the days go by, the two of you begin spending more and more time with each other after class. Flirt openly with Shu is out of the question. Keep my feelings to myself. Remain cold, almost competitive. Let's remain cold. Let's play a little hard to get. Because she's being a bitch. Wary of getting too close again, you keep Shu at arm's length. Still, there's a thrumming electric undercurrent to your interactions, two like poles of a magnet pushing against each other. You match her sharp, almost incandescent brilliance, neither of you willing to back down. Somehow, you're always able to get under her skin, and the way her ears would sometimes turn pink at the tips give you a strange thrill. Beneath the tension and brinksmanship, something else simmers under the surface. One afternoon, after cheering on your school team at a football match, you're on your way home when you realize you left your wallet behind. Cursing, you turn back. The storm hits. By the time you locate your wallet face down in a puddle at the edge of the field, you're soaked through. As you bend to pick the wallet up, a shadow comes over you. It's Chu, trying valiantly to hold an umbrella over the two of you. Hello? The rain's coming at you in great horizontal sheets, and the wind is yanking the umbrella around, despite Chu's best efforts to keep it upright. Thanks, but I'm not sure the umbrella's doing much at this point. Didn't realize you were such a defeatist. By the time you reach the shelter of the bus stop, you're both soaked to the bone and breathing hard from sprint. She looks down at her drenched clothes, pushes a wet strand of hair out of her face. The bus stop is deserted. The buses must have just gone by, which means there's a long wait ahead. The rain's loud enough that there's no pressure to talk, but Chu holds your gaze instead of taking out her phone. As you study Chu, you notice that her lips have gone slightly pale and she's shivering slightly. Jesus, you look like you're on the verge of death. You might be. Bite my lip guiltily. Oh dear, are you okay? That's it? Oh dear? She steps closer. Suddenly, her face is only inches from yours. Her lips curl up into a lopsided grin. If this were a movie, you'd be offering me your jacket right about now. My eyes sparkle. How about a kiss instead? Chu's definitely flirting. My heart flutters. Sorry, this isn't a movie. Kiss? Are we gonna go for the aggressive option, chat? She's been aggressive with us at the party, but then she became cold. Or are we gonna play hard to get? Kiss? Straight for the kill? Okay, let's do it. I wouldn't personally choose this, but let's go for the kill. When your lips meet and your hands go up to grip Chu's hips, an involuntary tremor runs through her. You're almost certain it's not from the cold. A second later, a wave of water splashes into the bus stop, hitting the back of your legs. You step back, only to catch a bus trundle away and disappear around the corner. Oh shit, there goes my bus. A moment later, your bus pulls up. You give to a jaunty wave. Chu splutters. What? You're just going to abandon me here after... Chu flounders and doesn't finish the sentence. We just kissed her. We cannot hop on the bus. Let's wait for the next bus. Chu looks surprised when you concede and wave your bus on. You snort, raising an accusing eyebrow at her. Yeah, you would have gotten on and left me, wouldn't you? She laughs and there's an almost shy look on her face. The two of you chat with each other. Chu's usual sharp wit feels warmer, somehow. Intimate, her gaze a shade softer than it had been at the pool party. When your buses pull up to the curb again, one right after the other, you're almost sorry it hadn't taken longer to arrive. See you tomorrow! Chu nods, and your heart continues doing loop-de-loops in your chest long after the bus has disappeared round the bend. From that day on, there's no turning back. You fall fast and hard for each other. You see each other every day and spend hours talking on the phone in the middle of the night. Messages exchanged in the margins of literature books. A dozen different ways to type I love you on a graphing calculator. It's so far from the kind of romance you'd been told to expect that you hadn't admitted it to yourself until it bludgeons you on the head. But in hindsight, the sweetness of sinking gently into that relationship will always be tainted by the memory of how things had soured between you. Why did we break up? Back to the present? Junie clears her throat, reminding you that she's still on the phone. So, you're coming to the class reunion, right? Are we over Chu? The thought of seeing Chu again makes my heart twist in complex ways. I don't really want to see Chu, but I'll survive. First love never dies. So we're not over Chu. But are we going? Yeah, apparently we're going. So I don't really want to see her, but I'll survive. Even now, the thought of meeting her sends a wave of painful memories through you. I wonder why they broke up though. It had taken you years to stop dreaming of Chu, stop itching to look her up on social media to see what she was doing. You don't want to reopen old wounds if you can help it, but you do want to see the rest of your classmates. You'll be damned if you let Chu take that away from you too. Yay! Yay for you, Junie. Junie's exclamation nearly blows out your eardrums. Fortunately, you'd had the foresight to hold your phone an inch away from your ear. Having extracted your promise to attend the reunion, Junie hangs up a little while later. You fall asleep that night with your mind still swirling with memories of a life you thought you left behind. 25th December. The rest of Christmas unfolds the way it usually does. Hectic, noisy, your extended family asking you too many questions you don't have the answers for. Halfway through dinner, you get a message from Nat, accompanied by a selfie with the dogs and Nat's parents out on a morning stroll. Merry Christmas with a heart. Hope you're eating all the chili crab on my behalf. If you want to call for a bit later tonight, let me know. The heart symbol in the message makes your heart throb, and you try to tell yourself it had probably been an accident. Frequently used emojis and fat thumbs. The deliberate this and this? That's not an accident. There's also a message from Shay with the address of the show he's doing tonight, as promised. Yo, heard from your mom that you're a musician too. Yes, I am, Shay. Yes, I am. If you come tonight, you could totally guest star. He is exactly the same through text as he is in real life. Flirty, irreverent, teasing. You text back and forth for a bit before your mother glares at you. Reluctantly, you put your phone away until after dinner. Once dinner winds down, you head out of the restaurant with your family. Nat and Shay's messages await your reply. Ooh, decisions. Call Nat, head to Shay's performance. Decisions. Are we gonna call our ex-girlfriend that we broke up with a month ago? Or are we gonna head to the Hot Guys band performance? It's like Sophie's Choice. I'm so scared of where this is gonna lead. I don't know what to do. Are we gonna relapse or are we gonna go rebound? This segment is called Relapse or Rebound. I don't want to relapse. Let's go to Shay's performance. I don't know if this is the right choice. You text Shay to tell him that you'll be there, and you make your way to the address he'd sent. Did I make the right choice? At the live music venue, you soon arrive at Fat Dog Brewery, the roadside burger place and live music venue where Shay and his band are performing. There's an open-air patio with high tables and fairy lights strung up along the sides. You spot Shay just as he's about to follow his bandmates up on stage. Hey, you made it! The leather jacket is my weakness! Shay flashes you a wide smile when he sees you. He's genuinely delighted, as though he hadn't been sure you'd actually come. He's about to say more when his bandmate yells impatiently from the stage. Leather jacket is my weakness, yes. Yes, it is. I like dudes who play guitar with long hair and tattoos and in leather jackets. Oi! Flirt later, gotta get this show started. Catch you in a bit, enjoy the performance. Shay hops up the stairs to join his bandmates. The space facing the stage is already packed with people. With some creative maneuvering, you manage to weave your way towards the front. The first song starts with a snazzy drum beat that explodes into a fast, rollicking melody. Grandma got over by a reindeer. The lyrics are absolutely ridiculous, and honestly, you'd expected nothing less from Shay. By the time the chorus comes around, most of the crowd is snorting with laughter and clapping or singing along. After the silly upbeat opener, the band eases into a couple of original songs. Your gaze zeroes... I can't even read. Your gaze zeroes in on Shay as he effortlessly works his magic. You hadn't been sure what to expect when Shay had first asked you to come, but you're completely swept up by the music. Close to the end of the hour-long set, Shay's gaze picks you out amongst the crowd. Such a flirt. I'd like to ask if a special guest would like to close out the night with us. A ripple of surprised oohs at this. Heads swivel in all directions, curious. Shay shoots you a warm, playful smile, waiting for your answer. Why not? I'm a musician too. Why not? Loud cheering from the crowd as he climbed on stage. When Shay introduces you to the crowd, they go wild for you. Someone cups their mouth and shouts, "I love you!" Either a fan or a very drunk person. Shall we do Borrowed Time? You're not surprised that Shay knows it, probably thanks to your mom, who tells everyone who will listen about your songs. Oh, it's her song, our song. This is an original song I wrote. It's about moments you wish could last forever. Once the audience quiets slightly, you give the signal to begin. You've performed this song to a crowd dozens of times before, but it still gives you a thrill each and every time. Shay's guitar weaves a soaring thread around your voice. Then, in the second verse, Shay steps closer to share the microphone and joins in, voice harmonizing with yours. You make instinctive adjustments, stretching some of the notes and shortening others, carving out space for Shay's voice and guitar just as he does for you. They are falling in love on stage. Can I just say, as a musician, that's one of the... it's really hard to explain that feeling of when you find somebody who matches your musical energy. Exactly. The string lights illuminate Shay's face as he sings, face inches from yours. Your eyes flicker shut and you let the music push you into dizzying freefall. The song sounds completely different from how you'd written it, but you like it this way. Two voices swirling around the deep, rich bones of drums and bass. That has to stir something in your heart. For a moment, there's only you and Shay and the electric pulse of music as it courses through your veins. I can't even say goosebumps. Goosebumps rise up along your arms. In the third verse, Shay lifts the melody unexpectedly, climbing instead of falling. A question. You shift the tempo of the fourth and final verse to reframe the first, the same chords but reversed, and answer. Your voices lock on the last note of the song. Shay's molten gaze finds yours. The audience bursts into rapturous applause. You come up to stand beside Shay and his bandmates. Thank you! We are the 1am Lip Up Band. Merry Christmas, everybody! After the performance, you sit down on a small stool next to Shay. You're all still sweaty and breathless, but vibrating with the familiar post-show adrenaline. Oh, I can relate all too well. That was amazing. You were incredible. Shay holds your gaze for a beat too long, acknowledging the moment of wordless telepathic connection you both felt. You can still feel the echo of that last note lodged between your ribs. You introduce yourself to Shay's bandmates. I'm Kim Seng. Lice? Her name is Lice? Okay. You blink, unsure if you've heard the name correctly. It's because I get in your hair, and once I'm in your life, I'm impossible to get rid of. Aha, I love this girl. Conversation between the four of you flows easily over drinks. Kim Seng is laid back and easygoing, and Lice is delightfully blunt. So, are you the neighbor who keeps yelling at Shay about muddy bike tracks? Shay laughs, shaking his head. No, the mom's the one who yells at me. He snorted, elbowing Shay. You talk about my mom and not about me? Shay laughs. You jealous? Don't worry, Shay talks about you too. He made us watch all your YouTube music videos yesterday. Shay blinks, uncharacteristically nervous. Look at his facial expression. Did we do the song justice? He nods, smiling as you recall how the song had been transformed. I loved it. We should record that version together. You didn't realize this was something you'd been missing, but tonight, playing music with Shay and his bandmates, you feel seen in a way you haven't in a long time. Why are you guys called the 1am Lepak Band? Lepak is the Malay word for chill or slack off, but maybe there's a story to the name. One night, about 2 years ago, Lice and I were performing at a bar in Bugis. That was before I was part of the band. They had a different drummer then. The amp blew, we were getting a lukewarm reaction from the crowd. At some point, some drunk man stands up and shouts, "Go sell insurance or something, losers." Fast forward to after the performance, we head to a coffee shop and our drummer quits. She said, "We're just a bunch of friends who lip up and play music together. That's not our real job." He nods sympathetically. Your parents and extended family have expressed similar sentiments on more than one occasion. Obviously, she meant it negatively, but I overheard the conversation and thought it sounded like fun. He pulls up a chair next to us, we start talking, and the 1am Lipak Band was born. Shay grins at you. You're welcome to join the band anytime. Lice and Kim Seng snort, and after a beat, you laugh too. I'll keep that in mind. Okay. At some point, after polishing off the drinks and food, the four of you join the throng of people dancing in front of the stage. Keep things casual, move a little closer to Shay. What if we flirt a little bit? He won't bite. Right? At some point, the two of you lose Kim Seng and Lice in the crowd. Shay steps closer, taking her. My chest! My chest started tingling. Is this okay? No, it's not! You nod, skin tingling just slightly from the contact. The two of you dance till your heads spinning in a whirl of color and sound. When the singer croons something about tropical Christmas, kisses on the beach under palm fronds, Shay's gaze shifts down to your lips and he makes no move to hide it. I don't think we're gonna be that easy to get. We've met like 2 days ago. Or 1 day ago. So we're gonna pull back for now. You step back, establishing enough distance between you to make sure you're not giving Shay the wrong idea. The strange crackling energy between you dissipates, the pressure in your chest escaping like steam from a kettle. As the song slowly winds to a close, the world comes flooding back. Other people, Shay's bandmates, standing a couple paces away. You catch Lice and Kim Seng looking at you curiously, but they do not say anything. It's getting late and the venue has begun to empty out, so the four of you decide to call it a night. My advice is always ruin the friendship. Not this fast, class. 2 days? 2 days in? Chill a bit. Head home. Instead of taking a taxi back, you'd accepted a ride back from Shay on his motorbike. Cool wind buffets your face and the engine thrums beneath you. You're beginning to relax, taking in the Christmas lights when the bike suddenly sails over a speed bump. You get a millisecond of airtime before hitting the ground again, nearly crashing into Shay's back. Shay laughs but doesn't take his eyes off the road. You can hold on to me if you want. Put my arms around Shay's waist. That is the safest option, you know. I have to protect myself. Shay leans back slightly so you can feel his warm body against yours. You rest your chin on his shoulder. Enjoying the ride? So much I'm considering getting myself a motorbike. Shay chuckles. At the next stoplight, he looks over at you, dark eyes sparkling. In the meantime, I'd be happy to take you on as many joyrides as you want. Shay makes another wide turn. I can't read anymore, guys! The swooping sensation makes your pulse race, and your grip around Shay's waist tightens just a little. My aunt used to fetch me around on her motorbike as a kid. She'd call it eating air. As the bike flies along the nearly empty roads, you taste the crisp night air on your tongue. I can see why she called it that. The ride is almost too short. Before you know it, Shay pulls up in the car park of your apartment block. Shay pauses. Don't look at me like that! I had a really nice time tonight. Not me too. Let's play hard to get a little bit. 1 day, 2 days is not enough. Shay runs a hand through his hair, looking hopefully at you. Wanna come over to my place? Slow down there, fella. I just got here. We have been playing hard to get, so let's give him just a little bit. Shay's eyes light up in genuine excitement. He takes your hand and the two of you walk toward the lift lobby where you first met. Why is there a bed? Shay leads you into his bedroom, flicking on the lights. It's been a long time since you've felt this thrumming, pulsing electricity with someone other than Nat. You push aside this thought and look around the room. It's crowded with all sorts of posters and, as expected, plants of various shapes and sizes. There's a guitar hanging on the wall and even an old vinyl record player on a side table. If you're wondering, I've recently installed some soundproofing so the neighbors don't complain about the jamming sessions. Occasionally, it comes in handy for other activities too. Shay! You snort, punching him in the arm. Shay laughs and puts a Canto Pop record on. A smoky velvet baritone fills the room. Walk Shay toward the bed, smiling, intimate, snuggle in bed and enjoy the music together. Sit on the edge of Shay's bed chatting. Guys, I am legit nervous! Shay endgame? No, I feel like he's just a fling. He's not endgame, he's more like a rebound. That's what it feels like to me. Is he endgame? I don't think he's endgame. I feel like this is just us coming from a breakup and flirting with the guy next door. Okay, we already gave him a breadcrumb by going to his place, so let's just sit on the edge of the bed. Shay sits cross-legged in front of you, and the two of you chat as the record spins, music weaving its golden spell on you. It's more intimate than you'd expected, but not unpleasant. Leslie Chung's voice floats through the room, ethereal and wistful. Shay's so close that you can feel the warmth from his skin. Move closer, finally acting on the tug in my gut. Remain where I am. One more. Let's just hold off a little bit more. You stay where you are, listening to Shay hum the final notes of the song. When it ends, Shay gets up to sheath the record and you stand as well. I should probably get going. Shay nods, gaze lingering on your face. There's the boxing gym I go to in Geylang. Do you want to come with me? We could have dinner after. You raise an eyebrow and Shay laughs. I know it sounds like I'm suggesting it so I can beat you up, but it'll be fun, I promise. Even Lice thinks so, and they hate exercise. Sure, why not? I don't want to commit to anything. I don't want to commit. I'm only here for a week and it's been 2 days. Well, I'm still glad we got to hang out tonight. See you around. Did I choose the wrong option, chat? No, we still got 5 more days. The next morning, you wake up to sunlight streaming in from the window, still sleep-muddled. You must have forgotten to close the curtains last night. A quick glance at your phone tells you it's only 7:30 a.m. You're still jet-lagged, but fortunately you'd been tired enough to sleep through the night. You turn around and try to go back to sleep, but your thoughts keep drifting back to last night with Shay. A sharp twinge of regret fills me. You squeeze your eyes shut. The loose, carefree feeling you'd felt last night in Shay's company gradually gives way to regret. Now, with the clarity of the day's first light, you can't help but wonder what you'd been thinking. Your brain latches onto the curve of a different smile, another set of twinkling dark eyes, and the comfort of an embrace that feels like home. Still, what's done is done. After breakfast. To appease your mother after your disappearance last night, you spend most of the day with your family. That afternoon, the 4 of you play mahjong. The Christmas presents from your extended family is stacked in a pile between you. Winner takes all. To nobody's surprise, your mother ends up winning by a big margin. As a result, she's in such a good mood that she doesn't even complain that much when you tell her you're eating out with your old junior college friends. When evening rolls around, you meet Junie by the river as promised. She pulls you into a bone-crushing hug, thumping you on the back as though executing the Heimlich maneuver. People are going to be so excited to see you. It's been years. The 2 of you stroll along the river to the restaurant where you'll be meeting the rest of your classmates. Hey, maybe this is the day you and Shu finally get over the bad blood between you. You've never actually told her what went down all those years ago, even though you suspect Junie guesses some part of it. 7 years ago, so this is 1 year into their relationship. In the months leading up to the national examinations at the end of junior college, Shu and you spend most of your waking hours after school studying together. Amidst the whirlwind of classes, mock exams, and college applications, you and Shu fall even more in love. One afternoon, the 2 of you head to the library after class, but the air conditioning isn't working. Your brother had invited some friends over, so her house is out. I guess we can go to my place. My mom's out with a friend today. She'll be back late. You brighten. Shu hasn't invited you over in weeks because her parents are going through a rough patch, and she's been spending as little time as possible at home. All you know is that Shu's mom had found out about her dad cheating. She never wants to talk about it. Sure, I'll come. Can we make dumplings for dinner together after? As far as you're concerned, that recipe is the only worthwhile thing Shu ever inherited from her mother. I swear it's the only reason why you continue to hang out with me. Among other things. You slip your hand into Chu's, fingers lacing together as you head toward the bus stop. You settle down next to Chu at her dining table. The two of you work mostly in companionable silence. You're finishing up a chemistry assignment, and Chu's doing a literature mock paper. After 2 hours, your attention slowly begins to wander. She looks up, narrowing her eyes at you. I can feel your gaze from here. She looks up at you, lips curling into a crooked smile. You promise not to be distracting. You're the one being distracting. You see Chu's throat bob up and down as she swallows, gaze growing thick. I've still got 5 more minutes on my practice test. When you move a little closer, thigh pressing against Chu's, you see a small flicker of desire dance across her features in response. Lean in and kiss her. She makes a small noise and kisses you back hungrily. Her hand comes up to grip your jaw, and all the blood pools in your gut. Ah! Oh no! Chu's mom appears at the threshold of the living room. You hadn't heard her come in. Judging by her horrified expression, she has definitely seen everything. Chu hastily lets go of you and steps back. She tries to school her expression into something fairly neutral, but you know her well enough to see the panic in her dark eyes. Shit. There's a long and terrible silence. The thump-thump-thump of your heartbeat is the only unreliable measure of time you have. She doesn't tear her eyes from her mother, and an entire conversation seems to be had in your presence, except you have no idea what's being said. Finally, Chu's mom rounds on you. Trigger warning for homophobia, guys. I knew there was something wrong with you. No, it's not what you think. You'll never know what Chu had intended to say because Chu's mother cuts her off. She holds nothing back. The Mandarin words come at you, sharp and fast like throwing knives. In English, Mrs. Lin has always been hard and derisive, but in Mandarin she is a force to behold, a typhoon sweeping and tempestuous. You think this is love? Beneath the surface of fury, you see a pang of fear and repulsion on her face that makes your gut twist. Chu is not like you. One day, she will wake up one day and see this for what it is, a perversion. She spits the last sentence out at you. The words wedge like barbs in your heart, sinking deep into soft flesh, slicing all the way through. Ball my fists no. Take a shaky breath and tell her how I genuinely feel. Go straight for the jugular, that's rich. You are lecturing me about love. Oof. Too much. Let's go with the middle one. You know this woman deserves nothing of your honesty, and yet you give it anyway. For Chu, partially, but mostly for yourself. The words swell up from deep inside of you and flows through your veins, spilling out of your mouth before you can stop them. You've never had to use Mandarin for anything other than writing academic essays before, but you try your best to find the right words. For the deep, intangible feeling of peace you feel when you're with Chu. For the warmth that fills your chest when you first see Chu walking down the corridor in the morning. I get it, you want what's best for her. But I do too. Finally, you tear your gaze from Chu's mother to look directly at Chu. Chu's gaze is raw and too tender. You're still presumably speaking to Chu's mother, but the words are meant for her. Maybe you're right. Maybe we're not meant for each other. Maybe we're not meant to last. Maybe this is just two teenagers being stupid. But I want to give it a shot. For a moment, it seems neither Chu nor her mother have any answer to this. Then Mrs. Lin snaps at you. That's enough! You can tell your words have rattled Chu's mother to the core. The hollowness in her tone hits you harder than the rage that had preceded it. Don't lecture me about what love looks like. Her voice trembles slightly, which is the first sign of weakness you'd seen from her. I know about mistakes disguised as love, and believe me, I do not wish that on Chu, nor on you. She picks your bag up from the ground and hands it to you. Go! This is the last I want to see or hear of you. Through it all, Chu says nothing, just stares at you, dark eyes swirling. This, more than anything else, is what breaks your heart. You bite down so hard into your lower lip that you taste the metallic taste of blood. After that day, thanks for saying what you did. You know she won't change her mind though. I didn't say those things for her, I said them for you. Chu simply stares at you, warmth and regret warring in her eyes. You realize that for as long as the specter of Chu's parents' pride and their expectations hang over her like a noose, Chu will never be happy. And you'll always be collateral damage. The realization turns into a cold, hard pebble in your gut. You shake your head, staring straight into Chu's eyes. In the span of a few wordless minutes, something inside of you wilts and turns to ash. Chu catches your arm, voice breaking. Don't make me choose between you and everything else. I can't. Your heart, made brittle by everything that had happened yesterday, finally shatters completely. I'm not the one making this an either-or situation. Don't pin this on me. Chu's face is wan, making the dark circles more obvious. Had she gotten any sleep last night? We'll just not hang out in my house. I'll tell my parents I'm studying outside alone. Nothing has to change. An easy fix, as long as you stay within the clean lines of Chu's boundaries and never ask for more, Chu would pretend the problem doesn't exist. No, that's all I'll ever have. I'd rather walk away now, not because I'd rather have something than nothing at all. I mean, if you guys just sneak around, there's a chance you guys would still get caught, right? But it's better than nothing. In spite of everything, the soft, foolish part of you still wants Chu in your life for as long as possible. The next few days morph into weeks. Nothing is the same. In place of the heady, giddy feeling of falling in love, there's a gnawing, uneasy sensation that eventually the other shoe will drop. You see Chu in class every day, and the two of you still spend some time together after school. But you no longer dream about the future you might have had with Chu. Instead, you pour all your energy into studying just to fill the hole in your heart that Chu used to occupy. Soon, classes come to an end. You take your exams and leave the rest up to fate. In the end, you get a full scholarship to NYU and Chu to the best law program in the country. As the deadline to accept or decline the offer draws closer, you agonize over the decision. Even though it's pretty much over between you, a part of you still hesitates at the thought of leaving Chu behind for good. The day before the deadline to send in your reply to NYU, Chu shows up at school with a bouquet of flowers. The card in the bouquet reads, "Congratulations." You're not sure why, but it feels like a final kick to the gut, even though you're sure Chu meant well. You know that you're being ridiculous, but you'd clung on to the small sliver of hope that Chu might ask you to stay. A long silence stretches between the two of you. You stare at this person who would never be yours and perhaps had never been. Remain silent. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Would you prefer it if I begged you to stay? I don't know, but it doesn't matter, because I know you won't. Chu does not refute this. The silence stretches between you. You see all of her pride and all of her pain etched into every crevice of her face. I can't ask that of you. You shrug. You could, but you won't. Tears prickle at the edges of Chu's eyes. Stiffly, you thank Chu for the flowers. When she leaves, you accept the offer at NYU. That's the last you see of her. So you didn't talk about it? Okay. Back to the present. 26th December. You and Junie have both stopped walking. Junie had listened to the entire story without interrupting, but now she rests a hand on your shoulder and squeezes. Damn, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Chu told me some of it, but I hadn't realized it was so bad. Junie pulls you into a hug, and you let yourself relax into the embrace. You do feel a little lighter now that you've told Junie about what had happened. You gonna be okay later if Chu shows up? Junie jerks a thumb the way you'd come. Because if you'd like to bail, I know the best Burmese place down that way. You wave a hand at Junie. I'll be fine. The restaurant is all sleek black and white lines and dark mahogany. The space thrums with Christmas Eve energy. Clinking glasses, bursts of laughter, murmur of low conversation. You scan the sleek interior until you spot familiar faces at a corner booth. Tech, your classmate and Junie's boyfriend, gives you both an enthusiastic wave and dashes over, pulling both you and Junie into a bear hug. You're heading towards the table with the two of them when the door swings open again. Something, instinct perhaps, or maybe just bad timing, makes you turn to look. Chu stands silhouetted in the doorway. The smile on your face freezes in place. Time slows. Chu's eyes meet yours, and all the air whooshes out of your lungs. Her dark gaze is exactly how you remember it. Turbulent, deathless, and frustratingly unreadable. You let your eyes trace the hard, angular structure of her cheekbones and jaw down to her tailored shirt and pants. It all speaks subtly of success and power and prestige, all the things Chu's parents had always wished for. No, expected of her. You hear she's a public prosecutor now, and she certainly looks like the sort of person you wouldn't want to go up against in court. And yet, in the subtle softening of her eyes as she holds your gaze, you see traces of the Chu you once knew. There's a hollow ache in your chest. Slowly, Chu lifts her chin and her lips curl up into a wry, almost cryptic smile. I was starting to think I'd never see you again. Me too, I say coolly. It's been a while. Emotions surge beneath your placid surface as you stare at Chu, the first person you'd fallen in love with and the first person to break your heart. But you surprise yourself by giving absolutely nothing away. When you respond, your gaze is level. Me too, it's been a while. Your tone is cool, showing no hint of the resentment curling in your gut. Chu presses her lips together and you see a vein in her neck pulse. Chu pushes a strand of hair out of her eyes. You recognize the tick. She does it when she's nervous or uncertain, and there'd been a time you'd found it impossibly endearing. After chatting for a while, Chu's gaze slides to the table where her classmates are seated, watching the two of you with undisguised curiosity. She tilts a chin to the back exit. Can we talk outside for a bit? My throat is dry right now, so we'll go with this. Your heart rate quickens and your throat goes so dry that you don't trust yourself to speak. Instead, you just nod wordlessly, already praying fervently that this isn't a terrible mistake, and Shomai is being so noisy. Come here, baby. Meow. Hi, Shomai. Is it cuddle time na, baby? Mama is still playing, anak. Instead, you just nod wordlessly, already praying fervently that this isn't a terrible mistake. Oh, we were gonna head out to talk to her. Okay. Chu's expression takes on an unmistakable glimmer of hope. You follow Chu out the back door of the restaurant into the alley. The door swings shut behind you, shutting off the noise. The alley is almost empty, save for several lonely pigeons pecking the ground for invisible food scraps. A crescent moon hangs like a silver comma between the rooftops of old shop houses. The back doors are flanked by a motley arrangement of dented garbage bins, air conditioning compressor units, and plastic chairs well worn from countless smoke breaks. For a while, the two of you stare each other down without speaking. Once, almost 10,000 miles of sea had stood between you and the past that you'd fought so hard to leave behind. Now Chu standing so close you can smell the familiar scent of her soap. True to character, she hasn't changed it even after all these years. You step back, trying to render her proximity less overpowering. You don't want to be reminded of sweeter times, simpler times, times when touching Chu, loving Chu, had been as natural as breathing. Okay, we're outside. What did you want to say? Chu takes a deep breath and something shifts in her expression. Whatever had remained of her hard exterior crumbles to dust in front of you. I wanted to apologize for the way things ended. Your heart drops to the pit of your stomach. I assumed you'd always be in my life. I was 18 and stupid and my nose is itching from the cat fur. I was 18 and stupid and Shu keeps going, words coming out rough and unpracticed. I thought I could do what my parents wanted. I achieved everything on their list, ticked them off one by one. It didn't make me feel anything. She sucks in the breath, then chokes out the words. I thought I could come back for the things that actually made me happy afterward, but by then, you were already gone. You think of that afternoon in Shu's house, everything that Shu's mother had said, and everything that Shu had not. You think of the flowers and the question that Shu had been unable to ask. You look at Shu for a long moment without saying anything, palms sweating in the humid night air. I never stopped wondering if things might have turned out differently if I had said something then, if I had asked you to stay all those years ago. Wowee. It wasn't her fault though, yeah, I agree. Hi, Panini. My heart flutters. Why are you telling me all this now? My throat closes up in anger. No, you don't get to do this. Shake my head coldly. You made your decision. I made mine. Now you live with it. I think we're not bitter anymore. So the first two options sound kind of bitter and like, although we know that we never really got over her. It's like you made your bed, now lie in it. You take a long breath, then blow it out again, slowly regaining control of your emotions. True, we're not 18 anymore. We don't even live in the same country. You wave a hand at the tailored suit, the carefully styled hair, the accumulated evidence of just how much your lives had diverged. I think that ship has sailed, don't you? There's a long pause, and you see that Shu's hands are still trembling slightly at her sides. It hasn't for me. Ooh. Shu holds your gaze, refusing to give up. Not yet. When Junie told me you'd be here today, I knew I had to try to talk to you this time at least. All I'm asking is lunch. This week. That's all it has to be. You take in a sharp breath. At the base of your stomach, there's the old anger threatening to rise. But as Shu stares at you, you admit there's something else too. Shake my head, there's no point. Agree to lunch, what harm can it do? Goodness gracious, we just flew here for a family vacation for Christmas and now we have 2 dates and an ex waiting back home. Agree to lunch, what harm can it do? This is exactly what you dreamed of once. If this had happened years ago, you would have said yes in a heartbeat. Now you're wary, but even against your better judgment, you find yourself nodding before your logical mind has time to protest. Shu's entire face lights up, pulling old sensations out of you with that smile. The hairs on your arms prickle at the warmth that blooms in your chest in response. The pigeons continue pecking at the ground. The moon hasn't moved an inch, but inside of you, something shifts. Back at home. That night when you return home, you realize that everyone's been asking you the same question. Are you staying this time? Shu had asked it first, before you'd left for New York, then nearly a decade later. Nat on a hot afternoon at the beach, then a snowy street in New York. Shay as you dance with him in a throng of people. For years, you've been living in the space between cities, between a past that you can't forget and a future that's just out of reach. Tomorrow, you wake up in your childhood bedroom with 4 days left in Singapore before the new year. As you walk from the car park to your apartment, you wonder what it would take to finally arrive at an answer to that question. You've reached the end of the demo. Thanks for playing. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna stay in Singapore or are we gonna... How about Nat? How about... What? What a cliffhanger! Based on your choices in this playthrough, these scenes will be available in the full game. Catch up with Shu over lunch. Spend time with Nat and see if there's anything left to save. Have a follow-up conversation with your mother about what she said in the kitchen, and many more scenes. Different choices might unlock other scenes in another playthrough. The full game releases winter 2026. Oh my god! So I guess we are going to look forward to the full release. Merry Crisis will launch with a first week launch sale. So when it releases in December, it will have a sale throughout the first week. And then Merry Crisis will likely be participating in the October Steam Next Fest. The demo will be updated one more time in October. More details closer to the date. So let's look forward to that. I think in October, we will definitely check out the update. Let's see what happens next if we get new scenes. And I implore you guys to check out the demo. So I feel like there's way too many options that I wasn't able to unearth in this playthrough. So I encourage you guys to check out the demo. It's free on Steam. And again, a huge shout out to the developers of this game, Monsoon Game Studios and Ali. Thank you so much for reaching out and encouraging me to check this out, even though I've already had it in my Steam library for weeks at this point. So that was Merry Crisis, guys. I hope you enjoyed the demo. Congratulations, Monsoon Game Studios, and I am looking forward to the next installment of Merry Crisis. W Devs! Thank you, thank you.